Hi guys, Fred Kitchen with Henson & Kitchen Mortuary and the 411, and this is episode number 7. Want to say thank you to all of you who are watching the videos, who are sharing the videos with your friends. That's how we get the word out. That's how we help others. That's how we collect information and gather information to help ourselves. So I want to say thank you for that. Got a little bit of a episode this week that we want to talk about, and I received an email, and I want to read that email to you, and then we'll kind of dig in a little deeper here and talk about this subject, okay? This email was sent to me just this past week, and I want to say thank you to the person that sent this to us with this question. But I think this is something that we need to address, and it's pretty sensitive, so we'll go ahead and jump right into it. I'm writing in hopes that you can help me. We have a precious little girl who is in need of some answers. This little girl's daddy died recently, and she saw him in a casket and understood through the conversation and explanation that we gave her that she would not see him anymore. She seemed okay with that. Now her grandmother has passed away. Her grandmother was cremated. There was no family or no public visitation. Now she is confused and can't figure out what happened to her grandmother and wants to know if her grandmother is being stored in their basement. Your wise words are appreciated. You know, this is a tough one right here. I'm going to be honest with you. This is a tough subject when you're talking to kids about death. But this is something I think we need to address with regard to cremation. It's very important. To begin with, hopefully that the funeral director that they were meeting with did give them an opportunity to have a viewing, at least a private family viewing of some kind. And then if the family chose not to have any type of viewing, then that's something that they'll really have to kind of deal with personally. But that is very important. So hopefully it was offered to them and they declined it. With that being said, I believe that I would be completely honest with this child, and I would do it as delicately as possible. You know, how we respond, how we explain, and how we interact with a child is a building block to their future. It's a building block that's going to launch them when they are children, when they become teenagers, and as they're adults. The things that we interact with them, that we teach them, is how they end up being as adults later on in life. So I believe that this typically should be a conversation that a parent would have with their child, like I would have with my children. I would go on and I would explain to the child that regarding death, there is another option other than the traditional burial, like when her dad had passed away, and in that his body was seen in a casket. The other option being that we would explain to this child would be that there is another option called cremation. And with the cremation, there is the option of having a viewing, having a service also, but the family had chose not to do so in this instance. So with that being said, I would explain that the body was cremated, and then the body is turned into ashes. And when the body is turned into ashes, then the family can choose what they want to do with the cremated remains of their grandmother, whether they want to bury her, whether they want to scatter her, or keep grandma's ashes with them, whatever that may be. So I would probably go ahead and delicately explain that and be honest with them. What you don't want to do is you don't want it to be misleading in any way at all when you're trying to talk about something that's delicate. You know, if we're okay with this, then we've got to be honest and have those honest conversations, right? Shouldn't be anything that we do should ever be something we're ashamed of. So we've got to make sure that we have those conversations like that. But I would explain that to the little girl and let her know that that's how that process works. If she goes on to ask further questions about cremation, I would probably gently, again, just let her know that her grandmother was placed into a room that was very warm, and then she was transformed into ashes, which is the cremation process, and that grandmother felt no pain, and therefore, it's just another form of disposition. You know, with cremation, we have a huge responsibility to think through our decisions thoroughly. This is whether we're talking about adults or whether we're talking about children. So here's 5 things that I think is important that we need to think about with cremation. What is the emotional and psychological impact going to be on those that loved us based on the decisions we make? So the decisions we make, how is that going to affect those who loved us? Number 2 would be, ask yourself, should we have a public visitation with the body present prior to the cremation? And a third would be, should we only have a private viewing for the family and close friends, maybe what we call an identification viewing. That is something that when there's cremation takes place, we literally almost require an identification viewing. We want to make sure that the person that's going to be cremated is in fact your loved one. So I think that's important also, a decision that could be made. Should we have a memorial or a funeral service so that the family, friends, co-workers, neighbors, and all who invested their life and their time into us or the person that's being cremated, that they have an opportunity to say goodbye in a healthy way? There are many options with cremation as a final form of disposition. So, I mean, you can do literally anything you want to do, but we've got some responsibility along with that, like with anything that we do. So hopefully this helped answer these questions. I really appreciate the email regarding the little girl who had questions about Grandma. If you've got questions, feel free to email us at hensoncares@hensonmortuary.com, or you may contact us through Facebook or other forms by calling here at the offices of the funeral home. I want to again say thank you so much for watching these videos and sharing, and want to continue to say thanks for reaching out to us and sending your comments of positive comments regarding these videos. Until next time, take care.